Join me as we get creative using some products from Concord 9th to make a fun Christmas card. Let's get started. All right, I'm going to be using some Concord 9th ink, the Nutcracker die set, and the Joyful Season Turnabout stamp set. We're going to start off with that. And I made a mistake. I should have let the stamp set rest after pulling it off of the backer and not get distorted, but I was overzealous to make the video for y'all and got a little overzealous, so I didn't let it rest enough so it's a little misshapen. And plus I didn't line my cardstock up exactly, so there's that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a minute. All right, I'm inking the stamp up first with watermelon ink, and I'm going to stamp that down. I've lined it up on the jig and the Turnabout set, so I know it's perfectly lined up. Well, I thought it was, but it's not. So I'm going to ink this up again. I noticed I had some spots that I didn't get. And all I have is the ink cubes, and I just have a few of the Concord 9th inks. I just got these to test out and see if I like them or not. So I'm going to clean off my stencil or my Turnabout stamp, and I'm going to come in with Eucalyptus. That's the next color. These were some of the latest colors that just released back over the summer. So I had picked those up. So we're going to stamp that down. This is where I realized I did not have my paper, or didn't let the stamp rest long enough, because they should not overlap at all. And I have a little overlap in a certain spot. So I think I either didn't let it rest long enough to go back into shape, or I didn't have the cardstock lined up in the corner perfectly, or I didn't cut the cardstock square. Now this is Rainforest, I think is the name of it. Let me double check that. Yes, I am correct. It is Rainforest ink. So I'm going to stamp that down. I did stamp that twice because I wanted it a little bit darker. The only one I didn't stamp twice was Wildberry, which is coming up next. And I didn't use all of the colors on this particular set, or on this particular project, I should say. I'll get it right in a minute. Next, I'm going to come in with the Wildberry, and I'm going to stamp that down. I have turned each time I have turned the cardstock to the left. You just make sure you can turn it to the right if you want to. Just make sure you go the same direction each time you turn it for your 4 turns. There's my background. And now I'm going to come in and stamp my sentiment using Wildberry. And the Christmas came from the Joyful Seasons Turnabout stamp set. I did double check to make sure there wasn't a die for this, but I couldn't find one. But I thought for some reason there was, so that you could cut out the sentiments, or that they matched a banner or something. I couldn't remember. Anyway, I couldn't find it on the website. So I have cut out all the parts and pieces to my little gingerbread man. Or not gingerbread, my Nutcracker. And really the only reason I really wanted the set, besides it was Nutcracker, was the circled oval dies. I wanted those. So I'm putting everything on a sticky mat from Waffle Flower. And I cut everything out from the Jolly smooth cardstock from scrapbook.com. And I'm going to come in with a little ink. I'm going to start off with using my Beady Bunny blender brushes from the Rabbit Hole design, and I'm going to add a little shadowing to my die cuts. So I'm coming in with Vintage Photo on the skin, which I just cut from Craft. And for the holly leaves, I'm adding a little shadow to those with the Rainforest ink. And then I'm going to come in with the watermelon ink and do the pink. The Mary is part of the Nutcracker die set. It has Mary and Joy in there. This beautiful scripty Mary, which is super delicate, which is why I'm holding it with my scissors. So I'm just adding a little bit of that watermelon right underneath part of the words to give it a little ombre effect, and adding some to those berries. And then I'm going to come in with the Wildberry and add a little bit to his jacket, just on one side. I kept everything to just one side. And then for the other florals at the bottom, I'm coming in with the Eucalyptus and adding just a little bit to the bottom parts of those. I'm going to end up cutting those apart when I get to making the card. But I just wanted a little bit more definition. So one way, if you wanted to step up your cards, if you just added that little bit of ink blending to your die cuts, that actually helps step it up just a little bit more than what just a plain cardstock is. Now for the hat, I did add the grasshopper into that for my shading. And then I'm going to start building the pieces. And you're going to see Rick make a mistake shortly. So I'm going to add his face first. So it was pretty easy to line up. It wasn't too hard. I just kind of put it right where it kind of looked like it went. I'm going to add a little glue to his nose. I do recommend that you have a pickup tool and reverse tweezers for any kind of project like this. It makes it super helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and add his little nose, and then this is where I messed up. This does not go to his mustache. Although it looks like a mustache upside down, it's not. It's part of his shoes. And I knew something was wrong because I was like, this doesn't look the right shape. So I'm putting that in, and we're going to put his little eyebrows in, and I just added all the inlaid little pieces with the pickup tool. And this is the one from Trinity Stamp. I hope y'all all had a fun and festive Thanksgiving, since we are just past that, and this is coming out on Tuesday. After Thanksgiving, Cyber Monday was a big deal, I'm sure, for y'all, if y'all like to shop online. There was lots of great sales. There's lots of great sales for Black Friday and all last week. Rick may have done a little shopping. He may not have. We'll just keep that between us. That's nobody's business. So I'm just adding in back to the project for a second. I'm just adding in his little buttons, and there was a lot of these little black pieces, and I'm wondering now why I had a few extra. Maybe I cut more than what I thought I did. But anyway, I am going to add his little breastplate up there, and I didn't add any ink to that because I thought it was fine. So I'm just going to continue building my little gingerbread. I don't know why I keep calling him a gingerbread man. My little Nutcracker. But that's all that's going on. I hope y'all had fun shopping. If you went shopping, I did have my tutorials on sale through Cyber Monday. I was going to just do it into Saturday night, but I decided to extend it until Cyber Monday. So by the time this video goes up, the sale will probably be off. I had all my old tutorials, PDF tutorials, on sale for 50% off, along with any ebooks I had. So if y'all missed that, be sure to watch for the next big holiday, which probably won't be until next Thanksgiving. We'll see what we do. All right. So besides that, we just kind of hung around the house and watched the Thanksgiving parade. I always like to watch the parade for all the fun Thanksgiving Broadway shows that are coming out or that are out. Back to the project for a second. I'm going to add his little boots, and this is where we're going to fit the boots on the top of the shoes on the right way. This is a layer and die set, so it does kind of build on each other. And for the legs, I decided to give him a little color. I just took the ink that was on the brush from that gathered twigs and just brushed it across, and that's the color I used, not the frayed burlap. I don't know why I said gather. It's sitting right here. I don't know why I said that. All right, for his little eye, I'm going to put that in, and I did add that. For his hair, I did decide I did not want it to just be white. I wanted to have a little gray instead, since to match his dark mustache. So I just colored that in with a couple of Hoo markers, just to add a little bit of shadow color to that. And then we're going to go and start building our card. So I'm going to cut down my panel to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to just cut it down to make sure it's square. There's that little piece, and I'm going to cut off, I think I left it in the video. We're going to take the smallest circle oval from the set, and I'm going to cut that out of the center of my card front. And I'm going to cut the larger one from a piece of green smooth cardstock that was in the Jolly Smooth paper pad. Jolly Smooth Cardstock from scrapbook.com. I need to cut off that little bitty strip that I'm going to add to the inside of my card for a little finishing touch for the inside. I try to keep my Christmas cards super kind of simple, where it just has a little bit. I don't do a lot of stuff in it. I might do some stamping, and that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and layer everything together. So yeah, I like to watch the Thanksgiving Day parade, and sometimes we'll go to a place locally. It's called Rodin's. Well, it's not local, but it's close by. It's about an hour maybe 45 minutes. They have a big florist, and they have all kinds of Christmas decorations and other stuff. Charles likes to go there and look at their Christmas stuff and get some new stuff every year. We didn't do that this year. We'll probably do it later. Sometimes we do it after Thanksgiving. Sometimes we wait a little bit. So that's pretty much it with us. Besides, that's all we did. Didn't have to see family or anything like that. We'll get together for Christmas, and that'll be it. It's hard to believe that it's already past Thanksgiving and we're into December already. Lord. All right, so when I put this back in, I made sure to line everything back together so that everything fit. This is where I'm going to start adding my floral. So we're going to start adding our little floral elements in. This is where I decided I was going to cut them apart to add a little bit extra. I always keep the die set packaging close so that I can kind of see how they put it together, especially doing it for the first time. And this was the first time that I have used this set. And I've looked at the back, and it's got some super cute little ideas for different little nutcrackers. I wished I would have gotten this sooner and used it more, but I haven't. So you'll probably see this pop up again during the winter months, because you can use nutcrackers during the winter, right? Oh, that was something I was going to tell you. We did talk about going to see the Nutcracker again locally, but we kind of decided not to and do the tour of homes locally instead. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pop in the little banner. I did add that with foam tape. I used the 2mm foam tape from scrapbook.com. It's one of my favorites. I love their foam tape. It's great. It's just the right size to have behind like banners or stuff. For the detailed little scripty Mary, I'm just adding that with a little liquid glue. And then we're going to start adding our little holly leaves. I'm going to add some right here. I think I added 2 or 3, right, I guess it's 2 at the top, and I'm going to add the other 2 at the bottom to kind of balance everything out. I started to add it at the top of the sentiment and decided I needed a little bit more balance at that bottom. So I'm going to add those. I'm adding my little berries in with my pickup tool, and that's why I love that thing, because you can use the reverse size and move stuff around. I'm going to cut out the sentiment now, and then I did trim it down just a little bit more. But yeah, that's we're probably going to do the tour of homes locally. He's always wanted to do that, and I'm like, oh, whatever, I don't care. So we'll probably do that. It comes up, I think, this week or next week, the 8th, whatever that is. So we'll have to get tickets and do that. So that should be fun. Let me know in the comments what y'all do for the holidays locally where y'all are, if y'all have some kind of traditional thing that y'all do. All right, so we're going to add our Nutcracker, and I decided to pop him up on some foam tape, and I'm just going to cut some pieces off. And for the legs, I just cut very small slivers and stuck behind the little legs. And that one just came off, so I'm going to cut another little piece and trim it down a little bit and put it behind his little boot. And then we will take and pull these backings off and add a little liquid glue so we have a little wiggle room on our little Nutcracker, and pop him down. And then we're going to start adding our finishing touches for this card. I'm going to add, I forgot, I'm going to add my other little holly cluster down here close to the sentiment to balance it out. That helped create that visual line between the top and the bottom. So I just thought it worked really well. I did end up moving one of those berries up a little bit to balance that cluster out just a little bit more. So that is my we're going to add our little gel pen highlights. I'm using the Milky Pop by Pentel white gel pen. I've been trying this out for the last few weeks, and I've really kind of liked it. It hasn't had any issues so far. And then for the finishing touch, I'm going to add some Stardust stickles to the berries. And I think I added a little bit to I added it to the little leaves over here on this side and the other side, just a little. And did I add some? Yes, I did. I added some to the band of his hat and to somewhere else, I thought, but maybe not. But anyway, I'm going to finish adding the little dots to his eyes. And here's a closer look at the card, and here's some looks at the cards. If you enjoyed this video, you're probably going to like the one coming up next. See you in the next video, guys. Bye. Stay crafty.